Nashville's #1 for all the hits. It's Hot 106.7, joined with the incredible Kylan Darnell. Hello, darling.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm so good. Happy post-Easter.
Thank you. You too. You too.
We're back at classes today. Yes, at Alabama?
Yes, I had 4 classes today. Run around like a madman.
Yes, very good. What classes are we in right now this semester?
I'm in JCM, like intro to sports media, because I want to be a sports broadcaster. So I'm like learning the intro to that. And then I'm in mass communications, and I'm in human communications, English, math, and what's my last class? Um, intro to content creation.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I want to unpack these classes first because we did the same major. You're a JCM major, yeah?
Yes.
So back in my day, it was TCF, which is telecommunication and film. I was the last grouping of people to be TCF before they made it JCM. So that's so exciting that you want to be a sports broadcaster. My background at Bama was I worked with the SEC Network as a little sideline reporter for a minute.
Oh, awesome.
You could not be in a better position for that.
Yeah, a better place. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I've loved sports. I've played sports since I was a little kid. I watched my brothers grow up playing football, and I actually played football myself. And so we were at a college football game, and I looked down at my mom. I was like, "Who's that girl on the sidelines?" Because I didn't know that like girls did that. And my mom was like, "Yeah, they're like starting to do like more women in sports media and stuff like that. Like, it's cool." And then I was like, "Wait a second. I've loved sports since I was a little kid. I've played almost every sport, and I love to talk. That's where we're gonna go, Kylan." And I've known since like the 3rd grade that I want to be a sports broadcaster.
Oh my gosh, Kylan, that is the perfect recipe for what you want to be and what you want to do.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up so well. Fantastic.
Thank you.
If you had to pick one sport or even, one or two that you wanted to be a sideline reporter for specifically, which would they be? And would you want to do college or would you want to do pro?
College football.
Okay.
That would be ideal. Or I would do pro football too. I mean, who wouldn't want to do the NFL like Eryn? It's awesome. So those two, and then the second one, I could do baseball just because I've watched it my whole life. Now, am I that interested in it? I'm not as passionate and like not a diehard fan as I am football, but I could do baseball, and I could do some soccer because I played high school soccer too.
Yeah.
So.
And Bama soccer is popping off right now.
Yes, the women's soccer's popping off. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Big love to Coach Hart. I just realized that that's kind of like a joke because Hart love.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. So I hope you get to report with them while you're at Bama. That's such a great program.
Yes, I'm excited to get more involved with that like my sophomore year. So.
Yes. Now you're also doing intro to content creation. Could there be a more perfect subject and pupil than Kylan, who is just everywhere and anywhere on social media? That's such a cool class.
Yeah, it's a really fun class. Not gonna lie, sometimes I just turn in like my brand deal TikToks. Any grades them.
Well, there you go. I mean, you are
they follow the guidelines.
Exactly. I want to dive into this a little more. What are some of the guidelines and tools you're using in this class? Because that's got to be a new part of the program at Alabama and a really cool one especially for what you want to do and what you're currently doing.
Yeah, so now intro to content creation is just like, it's not like you have to have it, but it's like they kind of want you to. A lot of people didn't take it, but I decided to take it because I figured if I'm going to be working in front of the camera, I've got to know how it works behind the camera as well. And like, I feel like I'd be more successful and independent if I could do both. And so with like my newfound job with like influencing and everything, I was like, all right, let's get in this class just to where I can like figure it out a little bit, because I was clueless. I mean, I did not even, it was bad. Like, I'm not good with computers and I'm getting better. So it's just like teaching me like how to frame things and like the rules behind like holding the camera and like videoing and like learning how to B-roll and all that stuff.
Oh my gosh. Learning how to B-roll. What an important part of the process, man. So okay, what is something about content creation that you have learned out on your own that maybe people that do TikToks casually, or that, you know, are starting to want to get into the influencer sphere, something that you've learned along the way that you wouldn't have expected to learn?
So I didn't expect social media to be so like I never thought that posting a TikTok would like get my college paid for. You know what I'm saying? Like I never thought in a realm that it would be like that in my life. I never thought that I'd be in this position. And I'm super grateful and super thankful for that. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody like behind me that supported me and like helped me get my dreams in line. But I just definitely one thing that I've learned from social media is that you've got to be real. Like everybody thinks like you can just go on social media and just like post perfect things all the time, but like that's not what gets you a following. It's just being yourself that gets you a following. People like to hear about your day. People like to just like be the best friend. Like whenever I'm like on TikTok and I make videos, I talk to them as if I'm talking to my mom every day. Like it's not like a big painted thing. It's just what's going on in your life, and it can be the simplest video of you just talking, and people will find it interesting because I feel like ever since the pandemic, a lot of us have lost our social skills a little bit from where we were locked up so much. And I feel like it's harder for people to make like face to face conversations. And so by being on like social media and like having those conversations with people, it like lightens their day. And if you're like more of a positive, like I will do anything to just keep my following more positive, more motivational, more happy. Like I just want to be the girl that like young girls can look up to, and I won't change that for fame or anything like that. So yeah, that's one thing that I've learned is just to be yourself and be real.
Yes, I love that so much. That's a huge tool that we learn in radio as well, is when I actually had to kind of break myself out of this a little bit. You have, when you're talking on the radio, even though there's a lot of people listening when they're riding around, you're talking to a friend.
Yeah.
You're not talking to thousands of people. You're just having a conversation with your friend. And that's so important to remember, because sometimes we get lost in, you know, being really formal and rigid and, you know, oh, is everything I'm saying accurate? And am I getting what my message across? But at the end of the day, you nailed it. People gravitate towards seeing other people be happy, right? And so
Yeah.
that's what's going to keep people coming back. So I think, especially this early on, probably the most valuable skill right there and aspect is being yourself. I'm really glad you touched on that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of your support system and folks who have gotten you through this, I know that it was just Parents Weekend. Um,
Hmm.
was that just Zeta Parents Weekend, or was it like Bama's overarching Parents Weekend?
It was just Sadie's been like parents weekend. It was super fun. Me and my parents had a lot of fun. My
Yeah.
dad actually, well, it's funny because whenever I first decided to come to Bama, I didn't like tour or anything before. I just committed and then came to freshman orientation, then moved in 8 days later. Like it wasn't like a oh big take your parents down to the college and tour it and then decide.
Mhm.
No. And whenever I came down the first time, it was just with my mom because my dad, he works a lot during the summer. So he was very, very busy. And whenever I first moved in, it was actually funny because I was modeling in Atlanta's Mart for Sherry Hill. So I flew directly in and like rushed the next day. So like my parents were not down here whatsoever. So like my dad's first time actually like seeing the university was on Parents Weekend. So he enjoyed it a lot.
Oh, that's so special. I'm so glad they got to come down and sort of have, I know it was a bit of a delayed experience, but they got to have that enjoying, sort of taking it all in time with you. That's really great.
Yeah. And I'm actually glad like that was the first time my dad seen the university because like I had been around for a little bit. I knew the ropes. I knew the perfect places to take him and to, like where he could absolutely enjoy it. So it was fun.
Oh my gosh. Did he have a favorite spot or like a favorite restaurant or bar that you guys went to or anything?
He loved mug shots. The
Oh
giant cheeseburgers. He liked that one. He thought that one was fun.
yeah.
And then he liked rhythm watching the people on the mechanical bull. So
Oh,
that was
yes.
fun.
The ultimate people watching. And
Yes.
for your 21st birthday, perhaps your what is it, a rite of passage, it seems. At least when I was there, everybody had to go there to ride the bull on their birthday.
Yeah. It was so fun. We literally just sat in the corner and people watched the whole time.
Oh my gosh, how fun. That's awesome. So, oh, there was something I was going to dive in also with, oh, yes, we touched on Rush. So obviously we watched your rush process last summer. We got to see all of your fantastic outfits. We got to have not good days, but great days with you every morning. And seriously, that still radiates so brightly throughout the entire world for you doing that. But is there like a moment during Rush that you had that was sort of funny, or like where you were in survival mode because of how long the days are? For instance, when I was there, my mom had to like sneak me Chick-fil-A because I was so hungry. Did you have like a funny moment during Rush?
Yes, I had a lot of funny moments during Rush. So coming from Southern Ohio, I lived in an extremely small town, and like sororities and Greek life is not prevalent like in the North at all. Like the
Oh yeah.
big like Ohio State, where like a couple of my friends go, most of my friends go to like the community college back home, but it just Greek life is not what it is down here at all. They don't have the funding. It's not like the big mansions, anything like that. The Rush is literally like 2 days, and it's in the spring. Like it's not big at all. So I'm gonna be honest. Whenever I came down to Alabama, I had no idea what Rush was. I had no idea what Greek life was. I had no idea about nothing until my freshman orientation. Um, I met this girl and her mom, and we went and had dinner with her mom and my mom, and then her. And we were all sitting at the table, and they're like, "Are you gonna rush?" And I was like, "What is rush?" They're like, "Oh, honey, you have to sign up. Like it ends in 2 days. Like you have 2 days to sign up."
Oh,
And
honey.
that's funny because no one like knew about me coming, so no one could like pre-rush me or anything like that. And so it was just crazy because they were like telling me the rundown of Rush and like what it was about. And I get there the day of, and I just thought it was like a big pageant the whole time. So I was fine. Like I was like,
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so hard." I was like, "Oh, I'm used to this. I've competed in Dallas, Texas for 2 weeks, waking up at 4 a.m. for hair and makeup and like going all day." So I was absolutely fine. I had the time of my life. It was like I got to enjoy it. I was not stressed. But the funny thing about the whole thing that like girls in Zeta and like all the girls around me like that are in other sororities laugh about that were on like the Rokai teams, which is like the leaders of like the PNMs, like lead them around. I was literally like in the dark. I had no idea about what houses was which. I had no idea what their names were. And you know, like how there's the Greek alphabet and like how every house has like the symbols? I had no idea what any of those meant. And I looked like a complete like dummy running around because I was getting lost. Like I was going into the wrong houses at the wrong times. Like I got Delta Zeta and Zeta confused the very first time. Like I had no idea what any of them were. And so I was constantly going back and forth in the tent. And I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I guess that a lot of girls had rush coaches, which I thought was absolutely insane. Like, do you need a coach? No, do not get a rush coach. I just thought it was funny, like talking to them. They're like, "What's your rush coach's name?" I was like, "Y'all have a coach for this?" But it was just funny because I was just so lost the whole time. And I eventually got like a little rokai that had to lead me around and like make sure like I had to get the 411 of this is what house this is with like the pictures. It was so bad, but it was so fun. It was embarrassing a little bit.
But okay, the fact that you went in blind, again, being a Northern girly, I grew up in DC where, Northern Virginia, Greek life, not a thing. So when I rushed, I didn't know anything about any of the houses and I went in completely blind. And then I ended up rushing Pi Phi and loved it. So happy with my choice. I think that that's better to go in
Yes,
completely blind.
I agree. I think it's better because you don't have like the stereotypes. So like you're not a legacy, so you don't have the pressure from family members. I've noticed that a lot of girls who like went in kind of like not knowing had like the happier outcome. And that's one thing I do want to capitalize on to anyone that's watching this and getting ready to rush. Make sure that you go with like your own opinion and what makes you happiest and not like don't go to a house because your a friend's going to the house. Like you know what I'm saying? So like just go for like your own genuine experience because it makes it 10 times better and it's more fun.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to ask you to now that we're getting to the end of this semester and we're going into summer, I wanted your advice for anyone rushing anywhere, and you just gave it. And I think it's perfect advice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What I know that you're probably getting ready to go do summer things yourself. What do you have lined up for your summer? Are you working? Where are you gonna be?
Yeah, I'm going a little bit of everywhere. There are a lot of projects that are like in the works that like I can't mention, but it has something to do with TV. So we're excited about that one. And I'm going to the Auburn Rodeo. I'm gonna be like a little guest there, and then I get to go to like the Talladega, and I get to be in the pit crew, and I get to go shadow Allie Weave. So Alex Weaver. So I'm very excited for that. I don't know that much about NASCAR, but it's cool to watch a sports broadcaster do her thing. I'll watch her. So I'm excited. I've got a lot of things. I'm traveling a lot this summer, but most of importantly, what I want to do this summer, I want to just chill out on my farm and enjoy my family because I've been missing them a little bit. Now it's time, like where you get to the end of college, like your first year, and you're like, oh, I miss the family. But yeah, I'm excited for what's to come. Hopefully, a lot of farm TikToks and a lot of laying out. But
oh my gosh. Well, that sounds like a phenomenal and versatile summer. So excited for you to go into your sophomore year. Wow.
yeah,
Are you excited?
I'm excited, but I'm kind of sad about it to be honest, because everybody says the freshman year is the best, and I had the most wonderful time freshman year, and it's over. Like it literally happened like that. Like I knew that high school went by fast, but college is just whoo. I'm gonna be 40 with kids sitting on my couch one day, and it's gonna happen before I know it, and it's scaring me.
Age is but a mindset. You can have fun for as long as you want, and you are already setting yourself up for so much success, Kylan. Honestly, you are so awesome, and I'm so proud of you from one
Thank you.
Bama grad and SRAC girl to another. So this is so cool that we got to chat, and yeah, thank you so much for hanging out this evening.
Hey, thank you for being the best.